Oprah has a lot of secrets that she's tried to keep hidden, some she's even paid millions of dollars for. But here's what we know right now. In 2022, it was said that Oprah apparently spent a fortune to make sure the docuseries created about her never sees the light of day, after clashing with Oscar-winning filmmaker and director Kevin McDonald over the project. While industry sources speculate Oprah would have to pay millions of dollars to get the rights to the documentary back, a source in the know denies it was in the seven figures. As the Apple TV Plus deal was coming to an end, Miss Winfrey brought back the rights to her docuseries and has since decided to put the doc on hold, a spokesperson for Oprah told Page 6. In addition, another source said Kevin made the film, but Oprah didn't like it and he refused to change it, and Oprah has paid back her fee to Apple. Again, this is strange because she's worked with Apple so many times before. Now, her previous work with them included the chat show The Oprah Conversations and the mental health special The Me You Can't See in collaboration with Prince Harry. Now, she also hosted Oprah's book club on Apple Books. But with everything going on with Oprah and her weird behavior the past couple of years, many people question why she canceled the docuseries and if Oprah was worried some damaging information was set to become public. Well, now isn't it sketchy? One person wrote in Page 6's comment section when this was revealed. Another individual asked, what is she afraid of or hiding? Now, similar takes showed up on Twitter, as one person wrote, what is Oprah hiding? While another tweeted, Oprah Winfrey shelled out a fortune to prevent a documentary release. Sounds legit, money talks, right? Not the truth. Yeah, I gotta say that is pretty sketchy sounding. And that's not the first time she's pulled some of her work. This isn't the first time Oprah has canceled projects she commissioned or approved about herself. You see, in 1993, she pulled back an autobiography that was ready to be published. Now, that caused quite a stir because in publishing, no one does that. Oprah had been paid $3 million in advance, but she gave it back just 3 months before the publishing date. Then she also had a book she planned for 2017 called The Life You Want, and again, the book never materialized, and this is honestly just weird. Then there's the whole situation with the school that she opened. The Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy for Girls opened in Johannesburg in 2007. Oprah founded it with her own $40 million and hand-selected the 152 students. But less than a year after the school opened, 6 students came forward to accuse dorm matron Virginia Tiny Macobo of mistreating them. She was arrested in November 2007, facing 14 different charges, but she was released on bail. It seems like Oprah and her team didn't do a good job at hiring and keeping an eye on the new staff. Now, it's so sad because this could have been prevented. Now, following the first trial, Oprah was then sued by the headmistress of the South African Girls' School for defamation. She alleged that Oprah defamed her by implying she was covering up the mistreatment going on at the school. However, this case was later settled outside of court before the arranged trial. Now, that's not all that happened there, though. In 2009, there was another scandal about mistreatment. 7 of the students were suspended for harassing their classmates. A South African news outlet also revealed that one of the girls demanded that her victims lie to the police about what happened, which is so messed up. Now, it seems like there has been scandal after scandal at this school, and no one is doing anything to prevent it from happening. Now, maybe Oprah has been paying off the victims to keep it all hush-hush. Now, more things have happened there too. At one point, parents also came forward with complaints about the school. In March 2007, some parents complained because they were only allowed to visit their daughters once a month and the girls were only allowed to use their cell phones on the weekends. One parent said, "It was a nightmare. We only had 2 hours to see my child. Surely this isn't a prison or an institution?" Another mother said her homesick daughter was very upset over the rules. "Michelle phones me in tears sometimes, and then I don't know what to say to her," she said. Now, the fact that parents are feeling this way is not good at all. Now, there have also been rumors online that some girls from the school have gone missing. Is there proof? No, there hasn't been any concrete evidence of this, but it honestly wouldn't surprise me since there's been a bunch of other shady stuff going on there too. Now people think that Oprah has been taking the students and doing whatever she wants with them. Now shockingly, the school is still up and running, which is crazy considering all the scandals that have happened there. There's definitely something fishy going on though, and more people have started to question it lately, especially since Oprah's connection to Diddy has been brought to light. Now, if you didn't know, Diddy is a musician, but this year he was arrested for running various crime rings, most of which happened at his infamous parties. Now, the thing is, Oprah was known to frequent these parties and be friends with him. So now, people are looking at her suspiciously. Recently, a source sent Page 6 a VHS tape that was sent out as an invitation to the mogul's 29th birthday party in 1998. It's a combination of celebrities inviting you to Diddy's birthday party, and starting off the video though is Oprah, which stands out a lot. Now other celebrities seen in the tape include Ellen DeGeneres, Chris Rock, Will Smith, and Joan Rivers. It begins with a strange home video style skit in which Danny DeVito, lying on a sofa under a blanket, says, "That's right, Puff Daddy is having a party and this is Puff Daddy inviting you to come. Let's have a ball." Then the group of celebs take turns reading from a script detailing the date and time, how amazing the party will be, and then reading an address to RSVP to. Now, the fact that Oprah was in this is alarming to people. Now, all those people in the video appear to be his really good friends, and how interesting is it that Oprah was a part of it? After all, it was revealed that the video invite is 6 minutes long, but only 1.5 minutes of it were released to the public. It has people questioning what else is on there and what's being hidden. Maybe some of the celebrities found out it was going to be leaked and paid off the company to not release the whole thing. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me as attorney Tony Busby, who is representing over 120 alleged victims of Diddy's controversial freak-off parties, has begun sending demand letters to A-list celebrities who attended these events, reported The Blast. Now, the letters have actually urged all these stars to settle out of court or face potential lawsuits, even if they did not engage in any kind of illegal activities. Tony has put forward an argument that their silence and inaction during these events make them complicit, while stating that those who witnessed wrongdoing but did not intervene share the same level of liability as the perpetrators. In a recent appearance on TMZ, Tony emphasized on the fact that the demand letters are a standard practice to outline the situation and encourage dialogue, but at the same time, he's fully prepared to escalate to lawsuits if that becomes necessary, noted The Blast. Now, he also noted that many celebrities are reportedly scrubbing their social media accounts to distance themselves from Sean Diddy Combs amidst the ongoing scandal. So, could one of these celebrities be Oprah? I mean, she has a net worth of $3 billion. She'd be able to pay off whoever she wants. Oprah claimed that she was born to a single teenage mother and grew up in extreme poverty. During her childhood, the cost of raising Oprah became too much for her mother to handle, so she was then sent to live with her biological father. Now, since then, Oprah has come forward talking about how she's been mistreated and taken advantage of by her cousin, uncle, and a family friend. Now, as a young teenager, and after suffering for years, she ran away from home, and a year later she became pregnant. She gave birth to a son, but he was premature and passed away only a few weeks later. Now, Kitty claims that Oprah has said that she never had any new dresses or dolls and had to adopt 2 cockroaches as pets growing up in rural Mississippi, but in this new book, Oprah's cousin spoke out against that. Where Oprah got that nonsense about growing up in filth and roaches, I have no idea, Catherine Carr Estor said. I've confronted her and asked, why do you tell such lies? And Oprah told me, that's what people want to hear, the truth is boring. Now, later in the book, Kitty claimed that Oprah still does not know the true identity of her father. Now, Catherine told Kitty who he is on the condition she not publish the information until Oprah's mother came clean to her daughter. And you'll know when that happens because Oprah will probably have a show on finding her real father, she said. And as I said, the girl wastes nothing. Vernon Winfrey, the man who raised Oprah, was also frustrated with the way she had played fast and loose with the truth. She may be admired by the world, but I know the truth, he says. So does God and so does Oprah. 2 of us remain ashamed. Now, in the book, one of her employees spoke out about their experience working for her and said, "I thought I'd be working for the warm and fuzzy person I saw on television," a former employee at her Harpo production company said, "but God, I was conned. It's a cult at Harpo, so oppressive it's frightening." Now, this isn't the only employee who's spoken out though. When Oprah launched the OWN network, the first show she premiered was season 25, Oprah Behind the Scenes. In that episode, she asked women who worked for her to speak about their experiences, and they did not hold back. A large portion of the women that worked for Oprah had their own families, and they spoke about how they had to make certain sacrifices in their personal lives for the success of the show. Now, they talked about the challenges they faced as working moms, and one of them was quoted as saying, "I had to be okay with making sacrifices for work. I hope I inspire that passion in my children." Now, this was just reaffirmed by Libby Moore, who spent 11 years working as Oprah's chief of staff. "I hit the job jackpot," she told Women's Agenda from her New York base. "It was like winning a grand slam. It was extraordinary, and even now, 5.5 years after leaving, it's actually hard to articulate because it was so massive," she said. Now, to say that the job was consuming was a vast understatement. An average day saw Libby arrive for work between 6:30 and 7 a.m. and leave between 10 to 11 p.m. The show was syndicated to 144 countries, and the demands were constant. Now, 11 years later, she wanted to stay, but she knew it was time to go. "I was absolutely burnt out and fried. I wasn't very good at balancing my life. As amazing as the job was, and the friendship that Oprah and I had, my personal life was really suffering. I had 3 long-term relationships while I was in that job," she says, "and I could not continue any longer in the position." And let me just say, that sounds absolutely horrible. Then there's all the Diddy stuff. A source sent page 6 a VHS tape that was sent out as an invitation to Diddy's 29th birthday party in 1998. It begins with a strange home video style skit in which Danny DeVito, lying on a sofa under a blanket, says, "That's right, Puff Daddy's having a party. This is Puff Daddy inviting you to come. Let's have a ball." Then in the video, a group of celebs take turns reading from a script detailing the date and time and exactly how fabulous and expensive the party will be, and then they read an address to RSVP to. They then said that the venue would be revealed later. Now, the group of celebrities in this includes Oprah, Ellen DeGeneres, Chris Rock, Mariah Carey, Will Smith, and Joan Rivers, just to name a few. Now, it's also been said that this whole video is 6 minutes long, but just over a minute of it was posted. Now, what happens in the other 5 minutes of it? No one really knows. People who have seen this, though, claim that the celebs involved in the tape should be looked at as potential accomplices in Diddy's case, as they appear to be good friends with him and have close ties. One person commented, "I think it's foul that not one person was staying away from him, and then supposedly they knew. No one was saying a word. Didn't he have some kind of big 4th of July party that anyone who was anyone would be at every year? Those people should be just as guilty, accomplices." While another person said, "It's crazy. Anyone I see here is suspect to me." Now, all those people in the video appear to be his really good friends, and how interesting is it that Oprah was a part of it? Now, this isn't the only brush the two have had together, as in 2006, Diddy made an appearance on The Oprah Show, and Oprah tried to get to the bottom of his stage names, why he changed them, and what they meant. I mean, he's had so many names including Puff Daddy, Puffy, P. Diddy, Diddy, Brother Love, and Love. Now, it's honestly very confusing for everyone. But when Oprah asked him about it, he decided he was not going to give up that information and keep it to himself. He said, "It's a nickname somebody gave me. I've never told anyone that. I know you get people to tell you everything, Oprah, but I can't look you in the eye and explain that one." He then shoved the question aside and said, "It's just a silly name," and it was made pretty clear here that he didn't want to share the deeper meaning and the significance of his stage name. Now, what's strange is that Oprah did not probe him anymore and just accepted that she wouldn't get an answer. Diddy then said, "I'll answer every other question except that one." Now, this is just strange in general and just so weird. Now, so far, Oprah has stayed quiet about Diddy and the allegations against him. I mean, Diddy is in jail right now waiting for his trial that is set for May 5th, 2025. But as time goes on, more and more celebrities are being connected to the music mogul and being exposed. I mean, just a couple weeks ago, Jay-Z was the first big name celebrity who was named in a lawsuit with Diddy for committing unimaginable crimes. Now, of course, Jay-Z denied it, but lawyers who are bringing cases against Diddy have said that it's time for celebrities who knew what was going on to stand up. Attorney Tony Busby, who is representing over 120 alleged victims of Diddy, has begun to send out demand letters to A-list celebrities who attended these events. Now, the letters have actually urged all these stars to settle out of court or face potential lawsuits, even if they did not engage in any kind of illegal activity. Tony has put forward an argument that their silence and inaction during these events make them complicit, while stating that those who witnessed wrongdoing but did not intervene share the same level of liability as the perpetrators. Now, in a recent appearance on TMZ, Tony emphasized on the fact that the demand letters are a standard practice to outline the situation and encourage dialogue, but at the same time, he's fully prepared to escalate to lawsuits if that becomes necessary. Noted a news outlet. Now, he's also noted that many celebrities are reportedly scrubbing their social media accounts to distance themselves from Diddy amidst the ongoing scandal. Now, the question is, did Oprah receive a letter? I mean, I wouldn't be too shocked if she did, and she'll probably pay up too, because she's worth $3 billion now.
On air, Oprah was portrayed as this wholesome, sweet lady, but according to her stepmom, there's an unknown side to Oprah, one that she hid from her fans for, well, years. So according to Barbara, Oprah is one of the most controlling people you will ever meet. She claimed that when, she wanted to come and visit, Oprah was like, no, you're not staying at my house. You're gonna stay in a hotel, and I'm not paying for that. You better pay for that yourself. Also, apparently Oprah was quick to anger when it came to her staff, with a lot of folks being fired left and right over the years for, well, no reason. But here's the thing. Even though Oprah doesn't let Barbara stay in her house, despite being a billionaire who could afford to stay in a hotel, when Oprah goes to visit Barbara, Barbara allows her to stay at home. Which, Oprah's like, I guess. Apparently, the first time Oprah stayed over at Barbara's, she allegedly complained that her bed sheets were not 1,000 threads and that her bath towels weren't big enough. Look, lady, you've got how much money? You could bring your own towels, your own bed sheets if you really wanted. You don't have to make your family feel like a burden just because it's not up to your standards. Thanks to Oprah's weakness for theories that kind of veer towards the decidedly out there, her legacy isn't exactly spotless. Sure, on one hand, she has endorsed plenty of credible things in her heyday. Barack Obama, John Steinbeck's East of Eden, which became a bestseller after being featured on the Oprah Winfrey Show in 2003, like a whole 51 years after it was published. But on the other hand, we have Oprah to blame, and I mean blame, for the rise of former actor Jenny McCarthy, who first said her opinion that vaccinations cause autism on the Oprah Winfrey Show in 2007 to disastrous effect. McCarthy has since been repeatedly cited as a factor in the return of diseases such as whooping cough in the US. Another one, Dr. Oz, the famed Turkish-American heart surgeon, first appeared on the Oprah Winfrey Show in 2004 and quickly became, along with, Phil McGraw and Rachel Ray, part of Oprah's team of experts who regularly appear on the show. Now, Oz dispenses with facts he doesn't find convenient, and manifests an egregious lack of integrity by promoting quack treatments and cures in the interest of personal financial gain. He's more like a Kardashian than a surgeon, according to some of his critics, which includes many of his colleagues, who argue that Oz's endorsement under a medical banner of certain remedies, ranging from the pseudoscientific to the downright kooky, is immoral. Now, he has argued that the Dr. Oz show was not a medical show. So, in other words, he seemed to be saying people would be better off taking medical advice from Dr. Pepper than from Dr. Oz. Alright, well, give me a can. The legend of Oprah Winfrey as an extremely poor girl growing up without a father, a too young mother who, Oprah claimed, carried with shame during pregnancy and then neglected her, spread like wildfire when Oprah began giving interviews in Chicago. She was like, oh, how they harmed me. I wanted to be white because I never saw white people being hurt. Now, she remembered her early years as lonely. She didn't play with anybody except for the pigs she rode without a saddle in her grandmother's garden. She mentioned, verbatim, the only thing I could talk to was the animals in the farmyard. I read them Bible stories. Apparently the years spent with a mother on welfare were even worse. They were so poor they couldn't afford a dog or a cat, so she had 2 cockroaches as pets. She put them in a jar, named them Melinda and Sandy, and she entertained her audiences with stories about fetching water from the well, milking cows, emptying the drinking pot. a fairy tale, really. She told stories about a grandmother who swung a switch, a grandfather who was quick with a stick, the people who raised her for the earliest years of life. She mentioned, oh, they harmed me. Oh, I wanted to be white. She mentioned this repeatedly, folks. She mentioned that her grandmother used to harm her all the time because allegedly it's an integral part of Southern tradition. The way folks were raised. You spill something, you get a thrashing. You tell a story, you get a thrashing. She mentioned that her grandmother could have done that all the time and not get tired. Well, here's the thing. Not everybody in Oprah's family agreed with this desperate upbringing. Her mother, Vernita Lee, when asked about her daughter's habits of self-dramatization, said, yeah, Oprah's a bit of a cold smoker. And Oprah's sister later dispelled the myth of immense poverty. Patricia said, of course we weren't rich, but Oprah exaggerated how bad it was for us. She guesses that Oprah did this because the viewers would love her, the audience would grow. But she's like, cockroaches were never her pet. She always had a dog. She had a white cat. She had an eel in a tank, a parakeet named Bo Peep, who she taught to speak. Where Oprah got that nonsense about growing up in filth and roaches, I have no idea. That was another statement made by her cousin, Catherine Carr. She's mentioned that she's confronted her. She asked, Oprah, why do you tell such lies? And Oprah allegedly said, that's what people want to hear. The truth is boring. Well, I don't know about you, but I just want to know the truth. So Oprah has been recently called out for using weight loss medication, despite being a long-time ambassador for Weight Watchers. Seriously. They're kind of synonymous. The famous talk show host has confirmed she uses an unnamed substance to help control her weight. In a revealing chat, Oprah said her latest slim figure is thanks to the medication and a healthier lifestyle overall. She's like, I now use it as I feel I need it, and she mentioned the fact that there's a medically approved prescription for managing weight and staying healthier in her lifetime feels like a relief, like redemption, like a gift, and not something to hide behind and once again be ridiculed for. In a conversation with People magazine, Oprah concluded, I'm absolutely done with the shaming from other people and particularly myself. However, some fans felt the billionaire philanthropist was feeling hypocritical. Once again, given she is a proud spokesperson for Weight Watchers. She's worked with them since 2017, if not before that. One social media user wrote, what I don't like about Oprah is she is clearly doing Ozempic, but yet she's still pushing Weight Watchers. And another person was like, okay, done with the shaming, but okay with lying. Others called out the star for letting folks believe she did it the old-fashioned way, asking once again, the party line for today, Oprah, why are you lying? So here's the thing. Confidentiality agreements are not uncommon in the world of Hollywood. Take Marvel for example. If you say something, if you leak a single line, a single name, game over for you. Poor Tom Holland. So in Kitty Kelly's tell-all book about Oprah, the author mentioned the confidentiality agreements that anybody who was going to appear on Oprah's show or work on her show were made to sign. So we're talking let's say Tom Cruise is on the show. He's going to sign one. If you make Tom Cruise a muffin and you're within the vicinity of the show, you've got to sign one. So think about all the people over the years that have had to sign this. We're talking over 500 people. So one former employee, Elizabeth Cody, tried to write a book about her time working for Oprah, but she was stopped by the courts, still being tied to the agreement she signed. So the NDAs were not just meant to be a way to keep, the show secrets safe, but all of Oprah's personal secrets. So according to Elizabeth, if you were anywhere in Oprah's life, you had to sign one of those. And Oprah was like, hey, I feel kind of, restrained after signing the paperwork. She's not the only one. In 2010, Unicus Performance Training filed a lawsuit against Oprah and her company Harpo, claiming they never got paid for a workout program they were developing. UPT said Harpo fired them for violating the terms of their confidentiality agreement, after UPT sent out a mass email promoting their upcoming appearance on Oprah's radio show. Well, turns out, according to the confidentiality agreement, UPT wasn't allowed to use Harpo's name, Oprah.com's name, or Oprah's name for any advertising or promotional purposes. Unless, of course, they wanted to get the axe, even though they were literally just promoting their appearance on her show. In August of 2023, a series of wildfires devastated the Hawaiian island of Maui. Good old Oprah Winfrey teamed up with fellow Hollywood heavyweight Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson to launch the People's Fund of Maui for residents with an initial donation of $10 million. The fiery disaster caused about 100 lives to be lost and $5.5 billion worth of damage. Around 12,000 people were displaced. Now, Oprah, who owns property on 1,000 acres of land in Maui, and The Rock, whose family lineage comes from the neighboring South Pacific Samoan Islands, have faced a lot of criticism over the last year. So their initial statement was they'd been meeting with community leaders for a couple of weeks, they were trying to figure out what to do, and they mentioned this in August of 2023. The Rock added, in this time of need, you want to take care of the greatest need of the people, and that's giving them money. It's going to take a little time to rebuild, it'll get a little worse before it gets a bit better, but we're here doing what we can do. So, Oprah's recent appearance at the Democratic National Convention on August 21st kind of reignited questions about how the money allotted for the Hawaiian people was being dispersed. There was an account on Twitter that went viral on August 28th, claiming that Oprah donated $150 million to the Kamala Harris campaign. And while Oprah did endorse Kamala for president, folks were like, hey, so where's all this money going?
The Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy for Girls scandal certainly isn't the first scandal attached to Oprah's name, but it certainly was the biggest. The Leadership Academy was originally designed and created to be a place to uplift girls in the community, but the good deed was quickly tarnished when the dorm matron was accused by multiple students of acting inappropriately towards them. The matron was arrested and faced 14 charges. In addition to those of inappropriate physical contact, the matron was accused of getting into a physical confrontation with a dorm parent and separately injuring 3 people while operating a golf cart. Adding more fuel to this fire, Oprah was later sued by the school's headmistress for over $250,000 on grounds of defamation. This was a direct result of this situation with the dorm matron. While that legal battle was happening, Winfrey had publicly commented that she was doing a complete overhaul of the school and that she had lost confidence in the headmistress. The headmistress claimed that these statements made it harder for her to find work afterwards. Court papers from the case read that Winfrey had originally intended to hire nurses to be the dorm matrons. However, the headmistress went a different route and, according to an article from CBS News, hired 8 young women from a local company called Party Design. Winfrey's lawyers at the time wrote about this, saying these young women were later found to be totally unqualified to handle the position, something the headmistress had been warned about. The 2 women were expected to settle this in court, but instead came to an agreement privately shortly before that date. Today, though, there is a brand new scandal being tied to Oprah's name. She has recently been accused of aiding disgraced rapper Sean Diddy Combs and making his sins happen over the years. You might recall that Sean Diddy Combs is in some boiling hot water right now after multiple people have stepped forward accusing him of engaging with them and others without consent, making people consume things unknowingly, force people into unwanted scenarios, film and use the footage from filming inappropriate parties he called freak-offs as blackmail to keep it all on the down low, and just generally being a really awful person and definitely not the kind of guy you'd want your name attached to. Unfortunately for Oprah, that is actively happening to her now since she has attended Diddy parties in the past. The thing is though, half of Hollywood has appeared on a Diddy guest list, but not everyone has been to a freak-off. Diddy was known as the party host in the 2000s. He hosted the white attire parties, massive birthday celebrations, after parties. They were known for being extravagant and expensive, and everyone wanted to attend. Allegedly, sometimes the after party for these events were freak-offs. But many news publications report that by the time a party descended into a freak-off, the big names had already left. However, people aren't just accusing Oprah of attending freak-offs, but also aiding and putting them on. Some sites even saying that she provided the people. Some people even going so far as to claim that Diddy's home was connected to Oprah's via an underground tunnel system, and that's how they did it. As of right now, this is not true. The claim that tunnels were discovered in Diddy's home was proven false. But Oprah's tunnel accusations don't just have to do with Diddy. People have accused Oprah of being part of a larger, multiple parties involved kind of situation that is similar in theme to the Diddy stuff, that directly linked her to some nefarious alleged activity involving forcing younger individuals into bad situations. Surprisingly, one woman claims not only is Oprah involved, but that she has the address to a tunnel entrance. Adria English filed a lawsuit against Diddy claiming she worked for Combs at the Hamptons and Miami parties he threw in the mid to late 2000s. She claimed that the drinks she was given on the job had other things in them that she didn't want. In addition to allegedly being forced to consume things, English claims she was also forced to engage in inappropriate acts she didn't want to do. While initially having legal representation, Adria English and her legal team parted ways. The cited reason is irreconcilable differences. The filing read that they disagreed regarding almost every aspect of the litigation. One of the lawyers claimed that they never lost faith in her case, just in her, and that her case was great. The issue at hand was that English allegedly undermined their work, went behind their backs, doing things incongruent to advancing her case, to which English has allegedly responded with, "I'm the client, you work for me." Another major point of conflict between English and her representation was that they requested that she refrain from speaking to the media. Pretty soon after parting ways, English spoke to independent media, and the interview made its way around TikTok gossip pages. This is when English claimed that there were tunnels under Oprah's home. She also made the bold statement, she sees what's going on because she's a participant. Now, was all of this true? As of right now, again, no credible
news sites have been able to find information confirming this. In fact, some websites like Snopes.com have looked into the tunnel rumor and have stated it false. Now, I don't want to say that Adria English is lying, just that the information hasn't been officially confirmed. But Diddy isn't the first time Oprah has found her name tied to some questionable characters. She was famously close to the man who also had a very public falling out with Hollywood after his past transgressions came to light. Name rhymes with Starvey, anyways, you get it. Oprah was seemingly publicly called out by Seal on Instagram for her past relationship to this person. The man posted a picture, the top image showing Oprah kissing the other man on the cheek with the text, "When you have been part of the problem for decades," and then the bottom image showing the man engaging in conversation with Oprah and another woman, this one with the text, "But suddenly they all think you are the solution." Seal added his own caption to the photo, calling out an individual for hearing the rumors, but not doing anything about it, and implying that the person was pretending that they didn't know what was happening. While Seal didn't explicitly name names, there were faces in those pictures, particularly Oprah's, so everyone assumed he was taking a dig at the talk show host. Seal insisted this wasn't the case, it just happened to be Oprah that was the one in the picture with the man. It was more about the man in the picture than the talk show host, and this text was to be taken as a generalization of the entertainment industry rather than a direct attack. And finally, a popular new Netflix show has dug up an old Oprah controversy. Season 2 of Netflix Monsters crime drama anthology was based on the Menendez brothers case. Already, the show has its own controversies to deal with, but it took some outside parties down with it, including popular TV show host Oprah. She was accused of being dismissive and acting horribly in regards to the whole situation. Back when the actual trial was taking place in the 1990s, Oprah brought on one of the original jurors, Hazel Thornton. She gave Thornton a chance to speak on her experience and clear up some of the false facts that were being reported in the media, like how the jury was deciding between acquitting or charging. Thornton insists this wasn't true, and the jury was always in agreement to charge. The disagreements came down to the severity of that charge. The interview also featured Catherine Cryer, a journalist and state judge in Texas. Cryer and Oprah appeared to agree more than Hazel did. Cryer had made the claim that the defense used psychological manipulation on the jurors by putting nice, articulate, wealthy young men in, and this next part was stressed, in sweaters crying on the stand. There was a really big focus on the fact that the brothers were wearing nice sweaters for some reason. Catherine Cryer further explained her claim, stating that whether the defense is successful in making the jury more sympathetic to the accused by using aesthetics and gentle language, it is a common tactic used. Cryer also brought up tapes that revealed that this tactic was something that the brothers and their representation planned to use. Thornton was not given further opportunity to speak on this. As the show came back from a commercial break though, Oprah and Catherine again spoke on how common it is to see a difference in someone's appearance from the arrest to the court appearance. Oprah segued the conversation back to the Menendez topic and then gave the floor back to Thornton to clarify her stance. She was quick to reestablish that in the first case, the prosecution didn't make its case, and in the second case, they'd had it down. Oprah then went on to share the piece of the story that affected her the most and was the main reason why she didn't believe any of the brothers' tearful testimonies. It was because of the account that when police first arrived at the home, the brothers were out on the lawn crying hysterically. She said, they were crying hysterically when the police came. Whatever that means. Hazel Thornton did gently come back at Oprah with, "Don't you think that you'd be kind of freaked out if you just ended somebody?" And the 5-second long silence that came after that said it all. Now that this clip is viral again, people are calling her insensitive and uninformed, that she shouldn't have even covered the case on the show in the first place. And then Catherine Cryer said that the boys should have just left if they were experiencing extreme levels of harm at home, which prompted Thornton to shut down that argument by citing the months and months of psychological explanations from professionals that herself and the jury received, and just stating that the defense provided enough to give the jurors reasonable doubt. Due to the nature of the content with this particular case, people called out Oprah for championing herself as a person that supports victims, but then was acting this way when it came to the brothers.
Oprah's Academy scandal. A serious new scandal is rocking Oprah Winfrey's Leadership Academy for Girls in South Africa. A 17-year-old student recently arrived at a hospital with a deceased body in a bag. Police are now investigating the incident, raising serious concerns about the safety and well-being of the students. This isn't the first time the Academy has faced controversy. In the past, there have been allegations of assault and harassment involving both students and staff. It's a shocking turn of events for a school founded by one of the world's most influential women. I wonder what else Oprah and this school is hiding from the public. Controversial Oprah interview. Remember when the Olsen twins were the hottest thing in Hollywood? Well, a clip from their 2004 Oprah interview resurfaced, and it's got people talking. Back then, rumors were swirling about Mary-Kate's eating disorder. Oprah, being the queen of talk, didn't shy away from the topic. She straight up asked the twins about the rumors and their weight. The Olsen sisters, understandably, were a bit uncomfortable. They tried to brush off the questions, but Oprah kept pressing. It was a bit awkward, to say the least. The interview has been criticized for being insensitive and potentially triggering for people with eating disorders. Some even argue that Oprah crossed a line by asking such personal questions. Her probing and highly inappropriate interview questions. Okay, remember that time Oprah was interviewing Robin Williams and Nathan Lane? Well, she got a little too curious, if you ask me. She started asking Nathan about his sexuality, bringing up his role in the birdcage. It felt a bit out of line to me. It wasn't really relevant to the conversation, and it could have been a bit uncomfortable for him considering he wasn't out at the time and wanted to remain private. Luckily, Robin Williams, being the smooth talker he was, quickly changed the subject. He totally saved the moment from getting too awkward.
Afraid of taking that role and being like typecasting people forever saying, are you or are you not? Is he, honey? I don't know.
It just goes to show that Oprah Winfrey would have done or said anything to get a viral moment. Here we have another insanely inappropriate question. This time the question was directed to the king of pop, Michael Jackson. On February 10th, 1993, Oprah Winfrey interviewed Michael Jackson in a television event that would become the most watched interview in history. Michael Jackson, known for his privacy, had not given an interview in 14 years. This unprecedented live event, which occurred before any sexual abuse allegations were made, captivated a global audience of 90 million viewers. Oprah took advantage of this opportunity and decided it would be a great time to ask Michael Jackson about his virginity.
Are you a... How could you ask me that question?
In what world is this okay to ask anyone? Oprah is in serious need of a publicist. Oprah paid millions of dollars to block a documentary from being released about her life. Oprah Winfrey has halted production on a documentary about her life that was intended for streaming. Speculation about the reasons for this decision has sparked curiosity among fans. Reports suggest that Winfrey, in a disagreement with Oscar-winning director Kevin McDonald, invested a significant sum to prevent the documentary's release. The project, initially planned for Apple TV+, was shelved after Winfrey repurchased the rights following the end of her content deal with the streaming service, while rumors circulated about creative differences and Winfrey's demands for edits. Her team has denied these claims, stating that the timing was not suitable for a documentary. Despite speculation about a multi-million-dollar deal to acquire the rights, Winfrey's representatives have downplayed the cost. What exactly is Oprah hiding? I guess we will never know. The betrayal. The feud between Monique and Oprah Winfrey began in 2009 during the promotion of the movie Precious. Monique claims that Oprah, a producer on the film, pressured her to attend the Cannes Film Festival, despite her desire to spend time with her family. She believes this led to her being labeled difficult to work with. However, Monique's primary issue lies in a 2010 incident where Oprah invited her brother, Gerald Imes, onto her talk show. Imes had previously assaulted Monique as a child, and she had been open about this trauma. While Oprah did ask for Monique's permission, the comedian felt uncomfortable with the situation. She agreed to the appearance, hoping it might help others, but still felt betrayed by the decision. The Maui Fund controversy. Oprah Winfrey and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson faced significant backlash after launching the People's Fund of Maui to aid wildfire victims. While the initiative aimed to provide direct financial relief to those who lost their homes, many criticized the celebrities for asking the public to donate instead of contributing more themselves.
People's Fund of Maui, because every dollar that you send that goes directly to the people.
They have millions, billions, and they've got friends that have millions, billions, right? So why don't they go to their friends for donation?
Is when we first launched the fund, there was some backlash. I get it, and I completely understand. And I could have been better.
Social media users expressed frustration, questioning why two wealthy individuals were soliciting donations from people struggling financially. Some comments highlighted the stark contrast between the celebrities' wealth and the everyday struggles of those they were asking to contribute. The criticism also extended to the choice of targeting the general public rather than seeking donations from other wealthy individuals or corporations. Many felt that the appeal should have been directed towards those with greater financial means. Oprah's book club controversy. The Oprah and Frey controversy stemmed from the book A Million Little Pieces by James Frey. Winfrey initially promoted the book on her show, praising it as a powerful and honest memoir of addiction and recovery. However, after it was revealed that Frey had fabricated significant portions of the book, Winfrey felt betrayed and publicly confronted him on her show.
I wanted to start with the smoking gun report. I want to know where they write.
This incident sparked a debate about the ethics of memoir writing and the responsibility of authors to be truthful. It also highlighted the power of book clubs and influential figures like Winfrey to shape public opinion and book sales. The controversy ultimately led to a decline in Frey's career and increased scrutiny of memoirs in general. It also raised questions about the role of publishers in verifying the accuracy of autobiographical works, the use of non-disclosure agreements. Oprah Winfrey, a renowned media mogul, is known for her ability to cultivate a public image of warmth and authenticity. However, behind the scenes, she employs stringent measures to maintain her privacy. One such method involves the use of lifetime non-disclosure agreements, NDAs, for her staff. These legally binding contracts ensure that employees, from personal assistants to high-level executives, are prohibited from disclosing any confidential information about Oprah's personal or professional life, even after their employment ends. While such agreements are common in various industries, the lifetime nature of Oprah's NDAs is particularly noteworthy. By imposing these strict confidentiality measures, Oprah effectively creates a protective bubble around her private life. This allows her to maintain a level of control over her public image and avoid unnecessary scrutiny. Her relationship with her mom. Oprah Winfrey's relationship with her mother, Vernita Lee, was a complex one. Lee became a teenage single mother when she gave birth to Oprah. For the first 6 years of Oprah's life, she was raised by her grandmother. When she was 6, Oprah moved to Milwaukee to live with her mother, a struggling single parent. Oprah has often spoken about feeling isolated and abandoned during this time. She described her mother as a stranger and recalled feeling alone and unsupported. The living conditions were difficult, and Oprah often slept on the porch. Tragically, she also endured abuse at the hands of relatives and family friends. Lee went on to have 4 more children, one of whom she gave up for adoption. Despite these challenges, Oprah and her mother eventually reconciled and developed a more loving relationship.
Rumors of a tunnel system below Oprah's home have been around for years, but with all the Diddy drama lately, the rumor is being dug up again. Of course, the alleged tunnels don't just have to do with Diddy. People have been accusing Oprah of being part of a larger kind of situation that is similar in theme to the Diddy stuff, that directly link her to some nefarious alleged activity involving forcing individuals into bad situations. The situation really caught fire when one woman claimed that not only was Oprah a key player, but that she had the address to a tunnel entrance. Adria English filed a lawsuit against Diddy, claiming she worked for Combs at the Hamptons and Miami parties he threw in the mid to late 2000s. In addition to allegedly being forced to consume things, English claimed she was also forced to engage in actions she didn't want to do. She claimed she was told by Diddy that in exchange for her actions, he would help her and her then boyfriend break into the entertainment world in their respective industries. English alleges that he never kept up his end of the bargain. Now she is suing Diddy and those deemed his co-conspirators for $50 billion. Adria English did have legal representation, but they have since parted ways. The cited reason was irreconcilable differences. One of the lawyers claimed that English was disrespectful and self-destructive, making it impossible to continue representing her. However, the legal team did say that they never lost faith in her case, just in her. To which English has allegedly responded with, "I'm the client, you work for me." But how does this tie back to Oprah? A major point of conflict between English and her legal team was that they requested that English not speak to the media. Soon after parting ways, English spoke to independent media, and the interview made its way around TikTok. English claimed that there were tunnels under Oprah's home. She also made the bold statement, she sees what's going on because she's a participant. As of right now, no credible news site has confirmed that or that a tunnel exists under any of Oprah's properties. I do not wish to discredit Adria English, just clarify that the information she shared has not been officially proven yet. Oprah has found her name next to Diddy in the headlines after people noticed how comfortable she appeared with the rapper in party snapshots. She is being accused of aiding disgraced music artist Sean Diddy Combs in his unlawful activities. As mentioned, Sean Diddy Combs is in some serious trouble right now after multiple people have stepped forward accusing him of doing a lot of things without consent and just generally being a really awful person, and definitely not the kind of guy you'd want your name next to, especially not if you're someone like Oprah, a personality who has established themselves over the years as someone in firm support of the movement. Coming back to haunt Oprah are the pics of her partying with Diddy at his own events and others. Many big Hollywood names have appeared on a Diddy guest list in the past, but not everyone has been a guest at a freak off. Diddy was known as the party host in the 2000s. He hosted massive birthday celebrations, the white attire parties, wild after parties. The bashes were known for being over the top and expensive, and everyone wanted to be there. It was a status symbol to be around that much wealth. Allegedly, sometimes the Diddy after parties were freak-offs, but many news sites report that by the time a party descended into a freak-off, oftentimes the famous faces had already left. But people aren't just accusing Oprah of attending freak-offs, but also helping put them on. Some sites even claiming she provided the victims. Remember the alleged tunnels we just talked about? Well, some people claim that they connected Diddy's home to Oprah's, and that is how they did it. But unrelated to the Diddy tunnels are those that people claim to exist at her Hawaiian property. Over the years, many online sites and Facebook posts have accused the talk show host of having a private tunnel system underground the 1,000 acres she owns in Maui. Again, this is not yet proven. However, that doesn't mean her Hawaiian property is free of controversy. Many Native Hawaiians and others believe that Oprah should not own so much of the island. This particular controversy picked up again after the devastating fires in Hawaii. Oprah and Dwayne The Rock Johnson set up a fund where people could donate to aid those affected. Having a billionaire and a millionaire asking people to donate left a bad taste in people's mouths, despite the pair putting forward a $10 million donation to jumpstart the fund. To summarize, when it comes to the Oprah situation in Hawaii, people want her to return her land to the Hawaiian people, and instead of asking the public to donate, to take up that responsibility herself, as she is likely in a much better financial position. From a completely different section of the world, we have Oprah's school scandal. The Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy was supposed to be a place where girls can learn and feel empowered, but a scandal soon tarnished that legacy. The dorm matron was accused by multiple students of acting inappropriately towards them. The matron was arrested and faced 14 charges. In addition to those of inappropriate physical contact, the matron was also accused of getting into a physical confrontation with a dorm parent and, separately, injuring 3 while operating a golf cart. This information was quite shocking when it first came out. However, when details from the hiring process of said dorm matron emerged, the sequence of events made a little more sense. While dealing with a different issue, it was discovered that the dorm matron was one of 8 women hired by the headmistress allegedly from a company called Party Design, which was not Oprah's intention. According to an article from CBS News, the star had wanted nurses to act as dorm matrons. Those hired were later found to be totally unqualified to handle the position, something the headmistress had been warned about. While dealing with the dorm matron situation, Winfrey had made some comments about losing confidence in the headmistress and doing an overhaul of the school, something the headmistress claims made it hard for her to find work after. This resulted in her suing Oprah for about $250,000 on the grounds of defamation. The 2 women eventually came to an agreement privately shortly before their scheduled court date. The school and Oprah's rumored Diddy connections aren't the first time Oprah has found her name tied to similar scandals. Oprah was pictured many times with the big Hollywood producer who had a very public falling out with the industry after his past came to light. Seal joined that conversation after he seemingly publicly called out Oprah on Instagram for her relationship to this producer. Seal posted a couple of photos featuring Oprah looking friendly with that man. The text reading, "When you have been part of the problem for decades, but suddenly they all think you are the solution." Seal added his own caption to the photo, calling out an individual for hearing the rumors, but not doing anything about it. Seal might not have named names, but Oprah's face was hard to miss. Everyone assumed he was taking a dig at the talk show host. Seal claimed this wasn't the case, and it just happened to be Oprah in the picture with the man. It was more about the producer in the picture than the talk show host, and the text was to be taken as a generalization of the entertainment industry rather than a direct attack. But this caught more people's eye than anticipated, and it actually made some folks look into the relationship between the producer and host. One Quora user named Marina Cocaine claimed that there was a startling connection between the two. Back in 2019, 2 documentaries with similar themes premiered at the Sundance Film Festival, but only one seemed to earn media coverage and good reviews. One doc was about the previously mentioned producer, and the other about Michael Jackson. A Hollywood entertainment lawyer made the claim that in an effort to distract from his own doc, the producer and Oprah helped fund the Jackson documentary. Other than speculation and rumor, there is nothing out there to confirm if this is true or not. About the doc Oprah did help fund, she claimed she provided support because she believed the survivors and that this issue was too important to stay silent. However, Oprah has been accused of using her platform to uplift people over the years that turn out to be evil, like in the case of her segment on John of God. Originally thought to be something of a miracle healer, it was later discovered that the star of the segment was accused of over 600 instances of physically engaging with people without consent. John of God ended up receiving hundreds of years in prison for those charges, among others. Oprah gave this man a spotlight moment during her programming years prior, framing him in a good light. Since the accusations, his interviews were deleted from her site, and a note was put up in their place with the message that Oprah hoped justice would be served. Well, on a walk back to her vehicle recently, Oprah was ambushed by a paparazzi with various questions about her recent involvement in the US presidential election. For those not aware of the situation, Oprah has been accused of being paid $1 million to appear at an event supporting Kamala Harris's campaign. TMZ obtained the exclusive video of this impromptu Oprah interview. It was quick and clear to viewers that Oprah did not want to engage, giving short answers and telling them multiple times that she wasn't going to answer their questions. The first question was about what Oprah thought of the election results, and her answer was sweet but firm in that she didn't want to discuss the matter. However, you can see her demeanor change when the cameraman presses on anyways, asking if it was true that she was paid to endorse Harris. Oprah spoke very clearly when she said that that wasn't true and that she was paid nothing ever. As the pop continued to ask various questions, Oprah got in her car, and as the door closed, it was clear the impromptu interview was over. But paid endorsement accusations aren't the only ones giving the talk show host grief right now. People eagerly await to see if Oprah will publicly comment on the situation with Diddy and everything that people are accusing her of providing the victims to the freak-offs, to having a connecting secret underground tunnel system within the rapper's home. There are all sorts of outlandish theories out there. The reason Oprah has found her name attached to Diddy in the headlines is because people noticed how comfortable she appeared with the rapper in party snapshots. As mentioned, Sean Diddy Combs is in some serious trouble right now after multiple people have stepped forward accusing him of engaging with them without consent, forcing people to consume things they don't want to, filming compromising situations, and then later using that footage as blackmail for people, and just generally being a really awful person, and definitely not the kind of guy you'd want your name attached to, especially not if you are someone as famous as Oprah, the kind of personality that has established themselves over the years as someone in firm support of the movement and amplifying victims' voices. Now, coming back to bite Oprah are all the pictures of her partying with Sean Diddy Combs at events he's hosted and others hosted by third parties. Here's the thing though, many big Hollywood names have appeared on a Diddy guest list, but not everyone has been a guest at a freak-off, which are the parties that everyone really has a problem with. Diddy was known as the party host in the 2000s. He hosted massive birthday parties, the white attire parties, wild after parties. The bashes were known for being over the top and expensive and extravagant, and everyone wanting to be there. A Diddy birthday invite was once a VHS featuring a dozen celebrities personally inviting the viewer, including Oprah actually. Another invite featured a literal golden ticket. It was a status symbol to be around that much wealth. The main parties were apparently often pretty standard as far as parties go. Allegedly, it was the Diddy after parties that were the freak-offs. Many news sites report that by the time a party descended into a freak-off, the famous faces would have already left. Like anything, there are always rumors online about various celebrities being caught at the events, like Oprah. But people aren't just accusing Oprah of attending freak-offs, but also helping put them on. Some sites even claiming she provided the victims. They claim that one way she would have brought people over is via an underground secret tunnel system connecting Oprah's home to Diddy's. Rumors of a tunnel system below Oprah's home have been around for years, but with all the Diddy drama lately, that rumor is being dug up again. Some TikTok users even claim to have access to and explore abandoned Oprah mansions. The tunnel situation really caught fire when one woman claimed that not only was Oprah a key player, but that she had the address to a tunnel entrance. Adria English filed a lawsuit against Diddy, claiming she worked for Combs at the Hamptons and Miami parties he threw in the mid to late 2000s. In addition to allegedly being forced to consume things, English claimed she was also forced to engage in actions she didn't want to do. She claimed she was told by Diddy that in exchange for her actions, he would help her and her then boyfriend break into the entertainment world in their respective industries, music and modeling. English alleges that he never kept up his end of the bargain, and now she is suing Diddy and those deemed his co-conspirators for $50 billion. Adria English did have legal representation, but they have since parted ways. One of the lawyers claimed that English was disrespectful and self-destructive, making it impossible to continue representing her. However, the legal team did say that they never lost faith in her case, just in her, to which English allegedly responded with, "I am the client, you work for me." How does this tie back to Oprah? A major point of conflict between English and her legal team was that they requested that English not speak to any form of media, and soon after parting ways, English spoke to independent media, and that interview made its way around TikTok gossip pages and conspiracy pages. English made the bombshell claim that there were tunnels under Oprah's home. She also made the bold statement, she sees what's going on because she's a participant. And there appears to be a shortcut in the video, and so it's unclear if her next statement came right after this line or if the video was edited, but the next words Adria English spoke in the video are, "I ain't gonna say allegedly, sue me." As of right now, no credible news site has confirmed that, or that a tunnel system exists under any of Oprah's properties, or that she was involved with or helped Diddy or anyone else with something like this. I do not wish to discredit Adria English, just clarify that the information she has shared hasn't been officially confirmed or fact-checked by a credible news site yet. Oprah has made little to no comment on the Diddy situation, but maybe it'll take a year until she does speak on the issue. That is what happened back in 2013 regarding her 2011-2012 nervous breakdown. In 2013, the talk show host admitted that the rumors circulating from the year before about how she was having a nervous breakdown were 100% true. She shared all this and more in an interview with Access Hollywood. Let's set that scene. Oprah is/was, if not the biggest talk show host back in 2011, so big that she could launch her own network. It was called the Oprah Winfrey Network, or OWN. What was supposed to be the start of a prosperous new chapter didn't really go according to plan. The network apparently struggled when it debuted, it struggled to take off, and it was struggling to stay up, to the point where Oprah started to suffer a nervous breakdown. The wind of this when it was happening, it was in all the headlines, but Oprah kept to herself about it until a year later when she admitted it was all true. The talk show host shared that her breakdown was literally happening in the middle of her struggling network, and I do mean literally. She shared the moment she realized that she was breaking down when she was in the middle of doing voiceovers. She said, "I remember closing my eyes in between each page because looking at the page and the words at the same time was too much stimulation for my brain." She also shared that she started noticing other symptoms when she was interviewing Jason Russell in 2012. Their chat was all about his public breakdown, which included him running unclothed in the streets. Oprah never got to that point, let me assure you, but she did say that talking to Russell, hearing about his lived experience, his symptoms, clued her into the fact that she could relate and was experiencing some of them. Oprah explained in the Access Hollywood interview, "In the beginning, it was just sort of speeding in a kind of numbness and going from one thing to the next thing to the next thing." She also said she told herself, "All right, if I don't calm down, I'm gonna be in serious trouble." The talk show host acknowledged that she had worn herself thin and reached a breaking point, a point where she just couldn't handle any more stimulation. Oprah was always one to tell people to push through hard times and hold on to their dreams, and this situation was testing her ability to do just that. While her new network wasn't exactly tanking, it was doing poorly enough that it just wasn't where Oprah wanted it to be, and it could be considered a failure. The media was having a grand old time writing about the network's failure, which only made the wound hurt more. About this, Oprah had said, "Nobody was more surprised than I was about that." She then went on to talk about how this was the moment she realized that she needed to hunker down because, as she believes, there is no such thing as failure. She said that failure is just God telling you to move in another direction. Slowly but surely, the network started seeing their ratings improve to the point where Oprah stopped believing that she should be worried. The experience let her, in her words, walk that walk and not just talk it about following and sticking with your dreams.